Vikings looking to interview another defense coordinator? All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, Ejero, Evero. Get to know the name because he might be the Minnesota Vikings' next defense coordinator.
Yeah. Yep. And we will hop into that very, very soon. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids. Also go to That's Badass Wood Art and drop Onebar Lupagus for 15% off in order of any size.
Wow, any size, any color. Also grab yourself a lift bridge. Just like the Vikings might grab themselves a new defense coordinator. Been wondering, what is the holdup? They've interviewed 3-4 guys. They're not doing anything. Mystery solved.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, that's the question. Do you read into this? Is this the number one option? Is this the candidate? Is this who Kevin O'Connell wants? They did have some time together on the Ram staff a couple years ago. Very familiar with each other. They probably showered together. Maybe they got in a tickle fight. I don't know. But is this mean he's been waiting for this guy the whole time? Is that fair to say? Because this guy's still in the running for what? The Colts and the Cardinals job, I believe.
I think this is very obvious that this is the issue here. I mean, not only Kevin O'Connell, but he was also with Kwesi with the San Francisco 49ers. So a lot of familiarity there. This dude is a hot name, hot patootie. He's even interviewed for the Broncos head coach job. And if I'm him, I'm like, kiss my ass. The big part of this is Denver can just deny it. It's a lateral move. They can just deny the request. So it'll be very interesting with Sean Payton coming aboard if he wants him. So Denver holds the keys here.
Which is something I never thought would even be something you'd say with the Vikings this year, talking about anything with Denver holding the keys to some decision of theirs. But you look at the Denver Broncos defense last year was the one bright spot. I mean, the whole season was an absolute disaster, but they held opponents to 210 passing yards per game. I mean, that's what we would give up a quarter. So something like that is huge. So he fits the mold of everybody else that we've interviewed, guys who have coached very, very good passing defenses. And the Broncos, as bad as their season was, the one silver lining was their defense.
Yeah, this guy's hot. I mean, he's been around. He's still only 42 years old. He's come up. He's been in coaching since, I don't know, 2010 or something like that. But the dudes he's been with, Dom Capers, Vic Fangio, Wade Phillips, Monty Kiffin. I mean, he's been Miyagi'd. He is a hot name. This is another one that they're just saying it's not when or if, it's when he's going to be a head coach. And clearly that's, I mean, like you said, he's in the running for the Colts, Cardinals. Personally, I'd rather be the guy who hands out the towels for pretty much any other team but those two. So hopefully he says, you know what? I want to go to the Minnesota Vikings and be their defensive coordinator because he's fantastic. And you read his quotes. When he took over for Vic Fangio, he kept the 3-4 in place. That seems to be the defense he would run. But looking at his quotes, he's just talking about getting after it, blitzing. He wants to get after the quarterback, getting me excited.
So did he keep the defense the way it was because that's his preference, or is that because that's where the personnel fit? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but it seems like, I mean, the quotes I was reading, I mean, he was basically saying, you know, I'm open to whatever, but right away when you hired, he said, I'm keeping the 3-4. So I don't know. When you look at their stats, I mean, defensively, yes, they had a very good year, but there wasn't like this. I mean, it goes back to if they keep a 3-4, like is Danielle Hunter in the cards, we'll see. But it's not like anybody had like these blow up numbers. They had Bradley Chubb, they got all these guys, but I don't think anyone had over 6 sacks.
Yeah, and I think we're going to know the answer pretty soon if he does come here because I feel like the Cardinals are going to make a decision soon. I feel like the Colts are on the precipice of making a decision. So we should know, I'm going to say at the end of the week, who our DC is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's going to be interesting because – I mean, if Austin Evero does get, I think he's kind of a dark horse for these spots anyways, but if he gets hired, then we go back to Brian Flores. Hey, just kidding. Hey, man,
well,
please.
That's the other thing I want to talk about. So what do you do with these other candidates you've talked to? Do you tell them, hey, we got one more guy we want to look at? We're not quite made our decision yet, but if you're Sean Desai, I mean, it sounds like his interview went really, really well. Wouldn't you just take the job? I mean, to be a D coordinator again? I mean, who cares if you're
I don't think unless everybody knows. I don't think they're going to care. It's an upgrade to either of them. And I'm sure the Vikings are being very upfront with them. But I think this is absolutely why they haven't made the move.
Yeah, and I haven't said his name all video long because I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it. So will you give it to me one more time?
Ejero Evero, which I could be butchering it, but I think I got it right. I got to be honest. I mean, looking into this guy, obviously Brian Flores is a sexy name and would be fantastic. But Evero, he might be the guy. He might be the guy I want.
Well, he was one of the names that were immediately thrown out there when the position became open. So he was someone we talked about right off the bat. Ejero, Evero.
You got it. It's
it?
One thing that I read. I didn't confirm. Someone tweeted it out, which could be true or not. But it sounds like the Falcons wanted to interview him. And they shot them down. But that was before Sean Payton. So hopefully Sean Payton just doesn't like this guy. And again, go interview whoever you want.
You know, new head coach maybe want to bring in his own guys, especially if this guy, you know, also applied for the job. That might be kind of awkward and uncomfortable. So,
morning, Sean. Nice butthole mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to get to the butthole mouth too. So, all right, that's it. Minnesota Vikings. Maybe now we know why they've been waiting to hire a defensive coordinator, because they want Ejero, Evero to be the man. Kevin O'Connell's old buddy, Kwesi's old friend, an old pal. All right,
pals.
See what happens, guys. We'll be going live here very, very soon, just about an hour and a half away. So definitely we are horned up for that. And remember this: humans possess the toolkit necessary to evolve into venomous animals, but it's highly unlikely.